Hello there, I'm Gemini Chimera, and let's get back to Nomad Survival. I've been having a blast recording this. I've gotten a couple more upgrades and a little bit of currency spent in the upgrade system. I've also never done a run with the Adventurer beyond just the first little playing around. I'm going to go with the generic General Nomad, and we're going to rock back into here. I really want to try to clear the crossroads. I've not done it before. The big AoE on that attack is really nice, but it does feel like I'm definitely going to be pigeonholed into fighting more actively. But that's okay. Let's grab Fireball. Try to do something. Try to do a build that I've never done before in this. Try to play with stuff that I don't usually like. Because what's the point in playing the same thing all the time? Let's do some crit. Maybe having a big crit sword will save my buttons. Crit sword and some crit fireballs to clear things out from a distance. Seems like fun to me. I will boost my XP a little bit. Hopefully that will let me get some funky toys. Grab the sword, double up my area. It does seem to like to fight in the same direction I'm fighting. Maybe it'll cover my back. And with this build, it actually seems worthwhile to invest in the sword instead of just getting it to have the basic attack. A lot of characters that I've played so far with the sword upgrade tend to just buy it once and that's enough because you're not worried about you're not worried too much about the actual damage of the sword, just having the effect proc. Where with this one, having it be kind of another ally, it makes it just feel a little bit different. I'm gonna grab the projectiles as well, so I can kind of do more than just the immediately in front of me, because where I'm facing seems to matter. I might go for almost a facing build. Slain enemies explode is always going to be good for taking out clumps of enemies and good for farming resources. I'm gonna kind of claw my way to the left and then claw my way to the right here in the hopes that, oh wow, that's a zoom. I'm now a lawnmower. Got it. But that isn't going to last, so I don't want to dig too deep with it going, but it's kind of funny. Having the SP boost on top of a pretty quick basic attack. Grab some item pickup range so I can make sure I'm getting the most out of these tunnels. We're already seeing those big death detonation clumps work. Wow, we've already got a second one of those. Grab some more icicles. And now that we've gotten to a certain level, I believe level 20 was the point, we're now attacking in all three directions, or at least in back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Grab some defense. We're going to play kind of a generic hero character here with the most of my damage being in the way I'm facing and just trying to survive via aggression almost this time. I've already grabbed quite a wide variety of items without investing too deep in anything specific yet. I'm going to definitely upgrade that Icicle Barrage though. The piercing combined with it being kind of low range means that it is going to affect where I'm fighting with my sword pretty well. And since I can't directly upgrade my sword, I might as well invest in things that synergize directly with it. At least in my opinion. This does leave my back very, very open, and I will need to consider that. But as long as I'm relatively moving, I should be okay. I grabbed Skill Duration, doesn't do anything for me just yet, but I do want to grab Purifying Circle at some point, because that will be a good way to cover my back if I have to stand my ground in any particular location at any particular time. But getting that Icicle Barrage to be something for just street sweeping like this seems like it'll be a really good way to kind of jumpstart my XP farming and leveling up. And if I dump all of them directly into the tower, I'm sure it'll break in no time. Yeah. Now let's see if he's hoping we get some icicle relics. Oh, the Spectral Sword. Get an upgrade for that. Would be really good. Grab some Fate, get some backups. Yeah, we'll grab some pickups. Pickup range, make sure that we're picking up everything we drop. Grab some more passive just get that swing speed of our sword up. Again, we can't directly upgrade our sword, but getting SP means that we'll get more swings out, which increases its overall DPS, or damage per second, if you don't know what that means. I really don't see too much of a point in investing in defense. I'm just wondering if it has any higher tier upgrades. I've never played with it before, so I want to make sure that I'm not missing out on something amazing just because my expectations for what defense does are pretty set in place. It does seem like the sword can grant me some SP regen, meaning that I can increase my sword swings per second a little bit further, which is nice. Get those SP. We've got our first boss show up. Let's see how he does against the torrent. It seems like knockback might be worth investing in if I can stun a boss like that. Again, he just took out half my health. That wasn't exactly a confident fight, but you know, you live with what you got. What you got. You get what you get, and you do what you do. Size doubled on my icicles means that I'm pretty well gonna be able to sweep these tunnels for now, at least, until we get some sturdier enemies with a bit more health. But for now, well, we're doing pretty good. Fireball, I'm gonna grab that crit chance again. I want to get my crit chance to about 25% with that, and then I'll worry about crit damage. Because critting on 1 in 4 attacks when I'm attacking at this rate seems pretty solid. On average of 1 in 4, we all know how math works. That absolute forward torrent of damage is really, really interesting, though. I've not played as such a directional character before. But I'm definitely feeling the power of the focus. Makes me almost wonder how successful he would be with the Barbarian run. I have a bunch of extra rerolls because of the class I went with, but it also leaves me open to healing and lots of flexibility. But it also does mean that I'm a little bit weaker. Grab that base divider upgrade. The swords are kind of central, so if I'm focusing on a boss, anything in that very center is going to be really, really, really stabbed. Grab an additional secondary sword. I'm actually really interested in upgrading that sword now. There seems to be a fair few things beyond just the initial upgrade that seem to pair well, and now that I've got a couple of relics for it, it's just going wild. I'm not usually one for playing warrior characters. I am a spellcaster, and clearly by the number of icicles I'm dumping forward, I'm not exactly thinking of this as a warrior character, but it is what drew me away from playing the character much in the first place. It's a sword and board guy. I like my ridiculous spellcasting. I like summoning hordes of minions to counter hordes of minions. However, I cannot deny how much fun and the efficacy of this. Grab some stamina for more stabbing per second. I'm trying to save that skull over there for the boss. It's in 3 minutes, so I'm just not sure it's worthwhile to hold on to it. The boss might even be in 8 minutes. I think the bosses are at the 10-minute intervals. So I'm debating on that. However, this does seem like a pretty decent tunnel for just gathering some XP. The sword slashes near me make me not super worried about getting something like the colorless rune, or the colorless glyph. Because it seems to be working on a similar role as like local defense, even though it used to be my main offensive ability. Move on through here. Grabbing passive additional damage seems like a good choice, especially if I'm going for crit. I'm gonna try to leave that skull there. I'm gonna try to walk past it. I don't know how long it'll linger, but maybe if I can maneuver the Mind Flayer over there when he spawns, we can use that to get rid of him real fast. A little of extra pickup range. And, oh, no, there he is. There's the boss. So, let's head on over and see how we do. Want to make sure he's on screen before we get any closer to it. And it killed everything except for the boss. Got it. Now we know how that works, and I'm on very low health for one reason or another. Ooh, and his minion cut me to shreds. Not the best run. Okay, so we know that the skull doesn't necessarily work on him, and well, that's all we got. But let's try out the archer. I've not played him much at all because I'm usually just using the keyboard and mouse. But I've actually using a controller and trying to aim this with a mouse without the mouse was an exercise in futility. I'm going to go with lightning now, because again, that's a skill we haven't shown off too much here. And we're going to plunk with some arrows. Get that pickup range, because early on, making sure we're gathering everything seems to be important. This character focuses a lot on single targets, so maybe grabbing something that lets me stand still and stand my ground to mark targets and take out groups would be nice. Extra fire rate from that. It does also, I also do like how the bullets are bouncing. I'm gonna definitely try to go for some more multi-shot, so maybe grabbing weapons that'll benefit from multi-shot as well will work well. Grabbing that fireball. Get that sword to mimic my bow shots. Oh yeah, with all these ping pong projectiles around us, what could go wrong? We'll grab the spectral bow just to, again, more projectiles to multiply. I'll upgrade the lightning strike as well to make sure that we're getting plenty of them in. I'm definitely going to want to look out for abilities like Immaterial Cloak. I'm actually going to pick that up now because we want that looting. But I'm not going to upgrade it as much as I did before because I don't want the enemies to flee necessarily. I just want that moment where I can get in and sweep, especially with my piercing arrows and everything. Piercing arrows and detonation. Should be pretty good. Yeah, just like that. Those extra the bouncing daggers might be good as well, given that they will benefit from multi-shot when I get it. Early on I am saving my rerolls because I know I can use them to reroll relics. And getting a good baseline of just abilities out there can be a good way to start doing hurt. And there's that first tier of projectile upgrade. It doesn't do anything for us right out of the box. As I've said before, you have to get 2 to be able to actually get the 1 upgrade from it. But I've actually spent a little bit of my upgrade currency making sure that I've got bonus projectiles already. So we're already bouncing plenty of damage around the map already. Or at least it feels like it. That barbarian double damage, definitely helping us out here. Definitely want to pick up those explosives. Because we have the piercing shot, when I shoot into a crowd, it definitely feels like that explosive is going to go a long way. Because even 5-10%, if I'm killing 4 or 5 people in a single shot, I will detonate more often than I will not detonate. The random lightning strikes are not super consistent. I can't rely on them to do any specific target or target any specific thing, but I can rely on them is for big AoEs to apply more big AoEs. All those arrows piercing and bouncing around us are really advantageous for keeping us going. Grab some more damage. Damage never hurts in games like these. Try to quickly whittle down this tower. Grab our chest. What do we got? thinking about those daggers. And we've already got the Spectre Bow. Nice. Let's see if I can find those daggers with some of our rerolls. Curse wins. Now we're at 25% curse. I'm not really going to invest too much further. 1 in 4 enemies being a bomb. 1 in 4 enemies being a crit. You see what I'm going for here. I want to make sure that I'm getting enough upgrades, not just like enough upgrades on different weapons and things to keep the screen busy, keep enemies thin, not just have too many hyper-focused individual abilities, which always does work well, but I want to make sure that I've got... Yeah, I think I've got a plan. I think I know what I'm after. Getting some crits, getting the enemy detonation. Again, I do need to go for something defensive here. I can't heal, so I do want to make sure I pick up things like the shield. I waited a little long on that, so I have taken some chip damage, but it shouldn't mess me up too much. I'll do the Purifying Circle. I'll grab that invulnerability upgrade, so I get it a little more often. I'm guessing I just straight up can't leave this circle until it's gone, regardless of whether the bosses are alive or not. I know that the final boss drops one now as well. Might invest deeply in that lightning. I don't use it often, so I'm kind of curious what it does at higher tiers. This is the first character that has you actually need to use your mouse, where the other characters are all based on your facing or the way you're moving, or just straight up where you are. Even though my SP is being boosted, it seems like I'm firing pretty well the same speed I was. I'm guessing there's a maximum number of arrows I can have on screen, and I think that the SP buff does not benefit from that very much. Get Entangle upgraded, because again, I want to see what Entangle does upgraded. I'm gonna just leg it, because I don't think there's anything here that's really gonna stop me. And I'd rather get the portal destroyed sooner than later because of those ghosts. Because I'm assuming that's where those come from, because by the time I destroy the tower, those ghosts stop spawning. I don't have Ascension, I don't have a Wisp. I'll grab Ascension and more defense. I'm not super familiar with this character, so I'm not super sure I'll be going very far with it, just like with the fighter before. But I figured it's nice to show you guys some of the other stuff that this game's got on hand before I jump back into my more familiar and comfortable characters and really push to kill that boss. Those lightning strikes are gotta be shredding targets now. Oh, there's our bouncing dagger. A little late, but we can work with it. All the extra bounces they do. Those daggers are also worthy of a muted sound effect. Too many smacks. I get that they want to have like a sound effect so you can identify that your things are doing things, but some of the sound effects are just a little punchy, and with the amount that they repeat and how rapidly they repeat, I tend to shut down and go to mostly my own music or kind of zen out doing my own thing while I'm playing this game instead of being too concerned about the sound effects. Although I do like the bleeps and bloops. The general sound effect, I've got it set to the more minimalist soundtrack. They've got a more aggressive one as well, but to me it doesn't suit the feel of the game. Like, yeah, it's a hell shooter. You're fighting lots of monsters and it's very, very busy, very, very chaotic. But it doesn't appeal to me. I'd rather be more mellow and just enjoying figuring things out and trying different combinations. here comes our Mind Flayer boss? Or is this, no, this is the, oh, this might be the Mind Flayer, yeah. Just gonna gently keep my mouse over him so my main attack is focusing on him, and rely that hopefully my lightning and fireballs and aura will take on what needs to be taken on. Conveniently, the boss takes us right next to where the portal will be, so we've got some immediate benefits. I'm gonna grab the lingering field damage. I'm actually gonna search out either another grasp or the dagger. Those are what I'm looking for here. Entangle. And then I'm gonna drop my mouse on the portal here, whilst hopefully dodging all of the major threats. And it seems like those green puddles are the auras from the entanglements. Oh, what do we got here? I'm not really interested in either of these. I'll grab the colorless glyph, but I don't think I plan on taking it in this character. Colorless glyph is one of my favorite relics. It always will be, or one of my favorite abilities. It always will be. I love my garlic and Vampire Survivors. I love my colorless glyph here. Anything that is just set it, forget it, area around me that keeps me safe is always going to be something I'm rather fond of. You can tell by the purification circle, I like abilities that are going to work in multiple ways, not just aggressively, but defensively as well. I'm liking the Entangle AoEs because it's another, just an area of the map that is just doing chip damage and applying damage. I'm tempted to run the Entangle with a Nox with the poisonous cultist, so that maybe I can have... I had a little bit of it before, but I'm a deeper build into it. Because as they die, they leave lingering fields that will apply poison, which could hopefully set off my detonated defense detonation. And it definitely seems like enemies are getting caught on each other, so more entanglement could be a good way to CC and control the enemy as well, not just apply the damage. Let's see if I can find another one. Like, I know I'm skipping past stuff that I could be taking here, but I'm already pretty sure I'm not gonna get, this as my win, but having... Yeah, I'm curious about the Entangle. I think Entangle plus Lightning might be a good combination as well, because A, they're held still, so when the AoEs go off, it doesn't really make them more likely, I guess, but it helps enemies to be clustered up because it gives them something to be falling behind. And when the lightning strikes, it'll set off the target, leaving the lingering AoE. Not necessarily a gigantic synergy, but it is something. I'll upgrade Fireball. I grabbed it early and haven't spent anything on it. I grabbed it early on the other character and didn't upgrade it either. This already feels like I'm kind of getting overrun. If I leave my bubble here, I don't feel like I'm going to be very successful in aggression. Though my damage feels okay. I'm going to work towards another instance of multi-shot. But yeah, this doesn't feel like a winning run either, compared to the last one even. Even though we made it past the Mind Flayer this time, it didn't last time. Now we've got those sky lightning bolts coming down. I guess it's kind of neat that the enemy seems to get some of my abilities. So the pillar of light that the enemy gets seems to be similar to the lightning bolt. Some enemies get the piercing ray spiral ability. A couple of the bosses on this map. Yeah, it definitely just seems like a neat little coincidence that they get similar abilities. Grab daggers. I haven't really found them again to upgrade them further, though, so they're not really huge for my build. We'll upgrade lightning further. Haven't gotten a huge amount of synergy this time. Just lots of different stuff. But, hey, not every run's meant to be a winner. Here comes death, I'd imagine. Oh, I might get lucky enough that I can... Oh, bad. Well, this has been a fun run while it lasted. Oh yeah, I can heal on this oh, I cannot heal on this character. Da 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 da. Yeah, the Barbarian's fun. I like the double damage, but I think I'm gonna start playing some of the other characters. Barbarian was good for when I was grinding a lot of the cash, so I could buy the upgrades to make stuff stick. But I think that lacking out on the ability to heal in its entirety can really lock the character down. But it does help me avoid being like pigeonholed into healing too much. Helps me stop buying too many healing things and goes for defensive abilities. It's give and take. I do like the Barbarian, but I think if I'm going to push for a kill or a win on this map, I'll have to play with something that can be more sustained. I'm thinking my win will probably come from the cultists. But, or is it the cultist? I gotta double check the name on that. Yeah, the cultist. So, anyhow, I have been Gemini Chimera. It has been a pleasure recording for you today. I hope that you've enjoyed Nomad Survival. And I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and ring the bell, all those lovely things. And yeah, have a fantastic day.